So it's the day in and day out going for your dreams and upgrading your life in some way that anchors that energy so you become the healer in your own life and the way you live your life.
Exactly.
Form and function. What you're built for is what you're actually doing day to day. Very few people listen and then follow up with a question that helps you to create a more intimate experience with that person. So one way is you listen deeply to the person and you reflect that depth within that person and you're following them, listening to them deeply. And then they have this phenomenon and their light gets stronger and it becomes more coherent. But in order to anchor that, so it's not just something and they leave, person leaves, and then they forget about it because there's so many external challenges in life. And then we tend to go outside of ourselves. In order to anchor that, the person starts to put more energy into like what's their heart's desire or what they're born and they're built for, so that their life becomes the healer for them. Yes. Right. So that's what anchors it. You have some creative project, right? Like Ann Lister's birthday week, or you write a book, or you do something. And then each time that you work on this project that you wanted to create, that's coming from deep inside of you, not from someone else's idea of what you should do. You're creating that coherency in the energy field and creating a strengthening of your immune system for whatever you need it for, and you live a more fulfilled life. So it's the day in and day out going for your dreams and upgrading your life in some way that anchors that energy so you become the healer in your own life and the way you live your life.
Exactly.
Form and function. What you're built for is what you're actually doing day to day, not because you're just coming to see me. I'm here as like a coach or someone who encourages you or gives you an experience of that.
Yes.
But now you go home and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. And maybe it's scary and maybe it's very challenging. But as you do that, it creates healing. And it also opens up the system more. So we go beyond like the shell that we normally live in.
Yeah, and it's kind of addictive, I have to say.
Oh, cool.
It is. It's, because it's a real rush. I can tell you that right now, which is what always happens when you and I are talking. As we continue this conversation, I'm dropping deeper and deeper down. And my experience of being in this moment, doing this thing, got me lit up in about 18 different ways because I love doing this.
Okay.
I love sitting here talking with you and anybody else that I get on my screen. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely, I know what you mean. Even you were in my workshops also, and in the workshops, I felt like we were co-leading, even though you were, a participant, because you would always ask the question that helped that person drop deeper inside of themselves. So it was such a pleasure for me and such a support to the whole class, because you would ask the question that naturally took a person deeper. Very few people listen and then follow up with a question that helps you to create a more intimate experience with that person. Usually the person responds and go, oh, well, I had something like that, and this is from my history. And they're not staying connected to the other person. They're not following that thread with the other person. They just somewhere else.
Exactly. And it's such a, I just want to make this one comment, then I want to move us forward a little bit, but it's such a huge experience to find that ability and then take it and create something in your life, because I honestly can't think of anything better. It's because I know what it feels like.
All right. So, and those 18 ways that you're lit up, I bet there are at least 20 by the time we're done.
Exactly. Watch out, world. It's Thursday.